everybody, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a long time since I've filmed, so I'm excited to be back and talk about some updates in my life and with my skin, and then also do a review of the new Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation from Hourglass. So if you're interested in seeing me apply with sponge and brush and then review my initial impressions and then do a check-in later in the day, please keep watching. So on my channel, we review cruelty-free makeup because in 2022, there's absolutely no reason to be purchasing makeup that still tests on animals. And so on this channel, you will only see me using products that are cruelty-free and hopefully vegan, but not always vegan, but I try to do vegan when I can. So on my face today, right now, currently all I have on is the sample. This is a sample I got for free from Ulta. I don't know if this is cruelty-free or not. If you do know, comment down below. But I'm just using it. Let me do a super zoom in. I'm just using it to finish it up because it was a little sample. This is the Dermalogica Calm Water Gel, Ultra Calming. I am using this because I recently had a significant change in my skin. So if you've watched my channel before, usually my skin is pretty clear from like acne and bumps and blemishes and things like that. I had finally gotten my skin looking like literally the best it has ever looked with a great skincare regimen. I was so excited. And then right around that time, I found out that it is not good for your bone health and other physical health to be on the Depo-Provera birth control shot for more than 3 years. So I did not realize, my doctors did not tell me, unfortunately, that if you are on that type of birth control, you're supposed to stop after 3 years and take a few years off before starting it back up again. And so I actually was on it for 11 years straight. And unfortunately, after going to a new doctor and having a bone density test scan ran, I found out that I actually have osteopenia, which is the step before osteoporosis. I'm only 32 years old, and so we immediately had to stop the birth control. I've switched to the IUD. I'm happy to film a video if people are curious about what that has been like. As well, it has nothing to do with makeup, but it does impact my skin. So I'm happy to do that. If you have any questions, please leave them below. But basically what happened is my skin got drastically different. So I used to have dry combination skin, and then after stopping the Depo-Provera shot, instantly have very oily skin and broke out horribly bad along my chin, down through here. You can probably even see a little bit here on my décolletage area. And so it has been very, very stressful trying to find a new skincare regimen, foundations that work for the blemishes and acne prone skin, because everything I had previously was super hydrating for my dry combination skin. Now I can't really use any of those products because they cause me to break out very, very badly and cause my foundation to break up very quickly. So I am trying this little sample that I got from Ulta as just something to hold me over until I can figure out what to use for a full-size product that's going to be good for oily skin. So please, if you have cruelty-free recommendations for oily skin skincare products or primers, please let me know. I'm also still, and this is on my face, on top of the Dermalogica Calm Water Cream, I do have this Rare Beauty primer. This is the illuminating primer, which again was phenomenal when my skin was dry combination, and I'm using it today. I've still been using it. I think that this product is not oily or greasy, that I can still use an illuminating primer on my skin even though it is oily. If you have a better recommendation, let me know. I'm thinking about just picking up the Rare Beauty pore minimizer, whatever the other one is that is not the illuminating one, since I do like this product so much. But for today's video, this is what I have on. So a long story short, I have been waiting for a new, more fuller coverage foundation to come out that was cruelty-free. So I kept seeing all these videos with like Lancome foundations, NARS foundations, all these other, designer foundations, Dior, this, that, and the other, and none of those unfortunately are cruelty-free, so I was not planning to purchase those, never would purchase those. So I've just kind of been waiting for kind of a new big luxury brand foundation to come out, and I decided it's time to treat myself. And so when I heard about the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation, I immediately wanted to pick it up, and I did go ahead and order it right away from Sephora. So this is what I'll be reviewing in this video. What I'm going to do is apply half my face with a brush, half my face with a sponge. You can watch as I apply it. I'll kind of talk about what I think about when I apply it, and then I will go finish the rest of my makeup, show you what it looks like with a full face of makeup, go out for a few hours, come back and do a check-in at the very end of the video to show you how it's been wearing throughout the day. Again, with my newly adjusted oily skin that I'm trying to adjust to and get used to. So I'm hoping that this foundation is going to be a good fit for that, but I'll let you know what I think obviously towards the end of the video after I've had it on for a while. So I have not used the product yet, literally just opened it, came in the mail today, and I do have the shade 3. So before I apply it, there were a couple of comments that I wanted to make to just kind of get us all on the same page. I've got my little notes here. So the first thing I want to point out is that this is a very expensive foundation. So this is $58 USD. You can pick this up at Sephora or Ulta. As I mentioned before, I got mine at Sephora only because Ulta did not have it in stock yet. Literally the day it came in the mail, which I think was yesterday, was the day that Ulta put it up on their website. Normally, I always purchase products from Ulta over Sephora because Ulta's point system is significantly better than Sephora's point system, but I wasn't sure if Ulta was going to get this, and again, I've been waiting for so long for a luxury foundation, kind of a treat yourself moment for myself, and so when this came out, I did go ahead and buy it right away. Now, I did have a gift card for Sephora, which did knock $25 off. Normally, I probably would not have just pulled $58 out of pocket to pay for a foundation, but since I had the gift card, I splurged a little bit. So some of the claims, I'm going to pull that up if I can find my phone. Here it is. So some of the claims on this, as mentioned before, it is a vegan foundation. It is a liquid formula, medium coverage, natural finish, long wearing, and of course cruelty free, as mentioned before. So we will put all those claims to the test here in a second and see. Now, as I mentioned before, I did get the shade 3. I do enjoy that Sephora has that shade finder option for their foundations on their app. Usually that works pretty well for me. Not always, it's not like foolproof or anything, but it does work decently well. And I was surprised because I used kind of my top 4 to 5 foundations that are on there to see what shades. And I actually matched with shade 1.5, shade 3, shade 2.5, and shade 5. So I was all over the map with this one. I do not know if that is like a glitch on Sephora, if that many shades would work with my skin tone or what, but basically I just kind of read the descriptions, tried to look at the pictures, and ended up going with 3, kind of in between 2. So again, the lightest one it recommended was a 1.5, which I believe was for a match for my Kosas foundation, and then the darkest shade was a 5, which matched for my Fenty Eavesdrop Boulder Tint Primer, which I use in the shade 2. So kind of in the middle here with number 3. And this one is described as just a fair neutral, if I remember correctly. So maybe keep that in mind. It is an online-only foundation, at least for now, at Sephora. So I was not able to go into the store and do a shade match. But we're going to see together how this does with me. So shake it up and we will get started. And if you're curious, there are 32 shades in the range, which for Hourglass is better than they usually do. So, in the past, I haven't purchased foundation or face products from Hourglass. They don't always have a great range of shades, but this time it seems like they have done better, and so that was another reason why I also picked up this. So I do like the packaging. It's got the frosted glass bottle. This is 1 fluid ounce, which is standard for foundations, and I'm just going to go straight in on the back of my hand. We'll zoom in all the way on my face. So that's what it looks like. It's not super watery. That's 1 pump exactly. Looks like it should be a pretty decent match for me, and we'll try it out and see what happens. So on the first side of my face, I am going to use this foundation brush from e.l.f. This is the Airbrush Blender Brush. I like that it's like angled like this. It's kind of like a knockoff, I think, for the IT Cosmetics brushes that have this angle, but those are much better. So if you're in the market for a brush and you can afford the IT Cosmetic foundation brush, buy that one. But if you're looking for something that is cheaper and still cruelty-free, this brush is pretty good. And I did pick this up at Ulta. Okay. So I'm just gonna gently dip in here. That's what it looks like. I picked up a significant chunk, and we're gonna go in on this side of my face. So let's see. Looks like a pretty decent shade match so far, so that's good. I do have a lot more redness in my skin now that I am breaking out significantly all the time more. So I do think that I've noticed from my foundations, it does seem to be a little bit harder to get a really good shade match just because my skin is not usually so red and irritated. Let's see, get a little more. It does look like the brush ate up, it's a clean brush. It ate up a lot of the foundation as I'm putting it on. So I'm actually going through that pump almost for half my face here with this brush, which I think it's because this is not the greatest brush in the world, but it works. So I do think that looks like On first application, I would say light medium coverage compared to this side. So there's the before and the after. I'm pretty sure I read this is supposed to be a blurring foundation too. Got a little piece of fuzz here. And when I'm looking at it compared to like my neck and décolletage area, it does seem to be a good match so far. We'll see if it oxidizes. But I did actually use the entire pump off the back of my hand. So what I'm gonna do now is go in with a second pump, one full pump, and we're gonna go in with my sponge. The sponge that I am using is from P. Louise. It came in this little pack. I just started doing the P. Louise, I don't know, mystery box or something like that, where you pay a certain amount and they send you products. And this month we got this little box of the Soak Away, let's see, the Soak is On You sponge set. So it had some little ones and some big ones. And this is just a brand new sponge out of there. I like their sponges a lot, and it's already dampened. So I'm actually gonna take this flat end here. So this is what it looks like. I'm taking this end, going straight in, and then we're gonna go to this side of the face and see how it applies with a sponge. Off the bat, that looks significantly better coverage. I feel like it's going on a lot easier. Definitely more full coverage with the sponge, which is surprising because a lot of times sponges really will, it's kind of similar to the brush just did, they'll soak up the product, but this one actually is not doing that. So again, one of the reasons why I really like this sponge. And I definitely think that made the foundation go much farther. So off the bat, my first thoughts are that I would definitely use a sponge for application here. And so what I'm gonna actually do now is just go back over the other side of my face, still have a whole bunch left on the back of my hand, and just try to balance it out so we get good coverage that is equal on both sides. It does seem, I feel like medium coverage is a fair assessment of the foundation. I do think it has a natural finish, so I would say all the claims so far do seem to fit. And on my chin area there where I have the worst acne, I feel like it did a pretty good job, like with no concealer or anything over it. It looks pretty good. So I'm gonna say so far I'm really enjoying this. And I would say that's pretty even there. All right. So here we go, one application finished out. Definitely would recommend with a sponge for my personal preference. Yeah, so I'm gonna finish my makeup. I'm gonna give it a few minutes to set so we can kind of see if it oxidizes. And then obviously I'll come back with a full face of makeup on, do a quick check in there so you can see what it looks like with other products applied on top of it. And then at the end of the day, I'll do either a video in here or with my cell phone, and you can kind of see how it wears after a couple of hours. So right off the bat, I'm happy with it. I think it looks good. Is it worth $58? No, not yet. So let's see how it wears. Let's see if it looks great and how it settles and how it looks throughout the day. I do think it's a great application at first, first impressions here. I do like that you can still see the texture in my skin because I used to be a completely full coverage kind of girl. Like I wanted my foundation to look like I had foundation on. But as I've gotten a little bit older and I've gotten more like fine lines and things like that, I've kind of switched now where I'm more into the medium coverage. Definitely not a light coverage person. I don't think I'm ever going to be a light coverage girl, but medium coverage works for me. And so I think that this is really, really nice. So I will go finish my makeup up and I will be right back to check in. As of now on the skin, it feels like it is drying down. It doesn't feel super tacky. I am getting a little bit on my fingers, not bad, but it probably is one that you would want to set with a powder, especially if you're like me and have oily skin. But again, I'm still adjusting to what to do with oily skin because I've never had oily skin in my entire life. So if you have tips or tricks on that, please let me know down in the comments because I'm literally like trying to figure out my skincare and my foundation, blushes, bronzers, all that stuff for oily skin. So I will be back in 1 second. All right, everybody, and we are back. And this is my cat, Crumpet. He's joining us. He's so sweet. Say hello. This is Crumpet. He's my baby cat of all my black cats. This is my youngest. He's 2 years old. And he's my precious. So makeup is on. This lash is being a little wonky. Just please ignore that. I don't know why it's doing that. It's like tilted up on the side even though I have it glued all the way down. Anyways, though, so foundation looks great. After it's set for a while, I don't feel like it oxidized. Just so you can see really quickly, like there's nothing here, like this is just like my natural skin color, and I feel like I surprisingly got a good match. Even though that weird thing happened, as I mentioned before, where every foundation I checked on the Sephora thing matched with a different shade number, I do feel like 3 was the right call for me personally. So I am happy with the shade, and I'll keep this, and if I do purchase it again in the future, I will stick with shade 3. So it applied smoothly. Everything went on top of it great. I did some powders. I did some creams. Powders went on great. Creams went on great. I actually didn't have to set my entire face with powder. So as I was finishing up my makeup, I felt like as it settled in and it dried down, it actually didn't need a powder, which is great because, as I mentioned multiple times in the beginning of the video, my skin is changing significantly and it is now very oily. But so far, at least initial application, I've had it on for about an hour now. I took a little break to play with my cats in between finishing my makeup and then coming back to film this. So it has been on now for a while, and I feel like, if you guys can tell, it blurred. It looks very good. I have very textured skin right now. I feel like you can't really tell that my skin is textured. Maybe just a tiny bit there on the chin line you can, and like right, you know, where the acne was really bad. But other than that, I feel like this looks really good. I think that this is a foundation that looks really good from far away. I think it looks very good when I'm very close up. I've been looking in the mirror and I just like the way it's sitting on my skin. It does look like a natural finish. I don't think it's matte. I don't think it's dewy. It literally is just a skin-like finish. And I think that a lot of foundations claim to do that, but they actually don't pull it off. This is one of the first ones where I really do feel like it kind of just looks like I have really nice skin. I mean, you can tell I have products on. Obviously, my eyelids are coated in glitter, but you know what I mean. Like, it has that texture that I think looks very, very nice. I don't think that it oxidized at all. So if you are able, I don't know if these are going to be in stores at Ulta or in stores at Sephora. I just know it was online only when I purchased it. But I do think if you go in the store for a shade match, whatever color when you initially put it on your face that you feel like is a good match, based on what I've experienced with it so far, that's probably going to be a good match for you to purchase and take home with you. I don't think you're going to see that it oxidizes a lot. So I do feel that upon initial application, all the claims that it had were achieved. I do actually think that I'm loving this so far. You know, on this channel, you saw Crumpet earlier, my baby black cat. I have 3 black cats, and so on this channel we use a black cat scale. So out of 1 to 5 black cats, with 5 black cats being the best, which also I want 5 black cats in the future. I'm currently at 3, hoping to get to 5 soon. Working on my fiance now to get the other 5 black cats, and then maybe we can have everybody in here for a little video or something. But that's a side note. But for today, I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 out of 5 black cats as of right now. So I am going to check in later after I've had it on for a few hours and I go out and run some errands and things like that. It is a rainy, cloudy, very hot, humid day. So I think that this is going to be a really good day to test it out because of the humidity and the water in the air, as well as the fact that it is very, very hot. So we will see how it holds up over time. But as of now, with again the initial application, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 black cats. The only reason I'm not giving it 5 out of 5 black cats is because of the price tag. So it is $58. I wish that this was closer to like the $40-ish range instead of the $60-ish range. But honestly, if it stays on like this and has really good longevity, I do see myself buying it again. So yeah, packaging I think is great. I give that 5 out of 5. I think it looks expensive. It feels nice. I don't like that it's not like a huge bulky package. It's very sleek and slim. I like the coloring on the bottle here as far as the packaging goes, like for that. And if you were curious, it does come in a cardboard box like this, like most of the typical Hourglass packaging. And just one more time, I did end up with shade. I don't know if you can see that, but that is shade 3. It's not going to pick up. But anyways, so I will check back in a little bit. But as of now, very, very happy with it overall. I think that this is definitely a winner for cruelty-free foundations. And if you are looking for a splurge, you want to treat yourself, or you've just kind of been waiting for something, you know, like a nice, expensive, fancy product to come onto the market that is cruelty-free, for me, this feels like a must-have, and they did a great job. And I'm excited to see what else Hourglass comes out with in the future. So I'll check in, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Hey everybody, so I forgot to check in after my movie last night with my foundation. So what I did is instead woke up this morning, put the foundation on again, and then went about my day, ran errands. I've been outside, I think it's been over close to 8 hours now. I've been outside, the weather's almost 100 degrees out, it's super hot, super humid. I was wearing my face mask off and on a lot. Our mask mandate is back where I live. And so this is the foundation after, again, about 8 hours outside running errands with mask on. And I think it still looks pretty good. The only difference today from yesterday is that I did use a pore minimizing primer instead of an illuminating one to see if I like that better. I actually like how both looked. I think if I want a more matte look, I like using the pore filler that I used today, but I also, for like a more luminous skin finish look, I liked what I did yesterday with the illuminating primer. But the only comments that I would have is it does look like a little bit wore off on my chin, probably from my mask that you can see there, and then on my nose right here, again, which is probably from the mask as well. But as far as like my forehead, chin, and like the rest, and you know, from far away, I feel like it's held up really, really well, especially in the weather, again, the super, super hot heat and humidity I was in. So after using this 2 days in a row, I'm gonna definitely recommend it to people. Again, I know it is expensive with that $58 price tag, but I think, again, if you're looking to treat yourself for a cruelty-free product, you've had your eye on a foundation maybe, I think that this would be a good one to purchase. And yeah, I would just recommend following that shade finder as best you can on Sephora. I had some trouble with it. If you have any comments or questions about how I decided which one of the ones to go with, since I had different recommendations based on different foundations I use, I'll help you as best I can if you comment down below. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.